The break is over and fights are back. We had Dirty Boxing. We had BKFC. We had CJI2 carrying us through Labor Day weekend, but there is nothing quite like a UFC fight night. And finally, we're getting that. We have UFC Paris with a main event that matters very much for the division. We have 14 fights to break down, and I am very much looking forward to this fight card. My name is Angelo. This is We Want Picks, and I'm going to break down the entire UFC Paris fight card, giving you my picks, predictions, and bets. But before I do that, I've got some upsetting news. Angel Tavares is unfortunately no longer part of this community. And I have rehearsed this transition no fewer than 50 times. And none of it feels natural. None of it is smooth. It is all awkward. It is all upsetting. And I hate that I'm even doing it. But the reality is, Angel was an amazing part of this community. If you've been watching this show for a while and you've seen any of our call-in shows, Angel was likely a part of that. He called into our show a total of 3 hours and 40 minutes. And the only reason I know that is because after we heard the news, I wanted to put together some sort of tribute for him. So went through all the footage, every call-in show, and there was 3 hours and 40 minutes. And every second of that footage was Angel smiling and bringing joy to me, Jacob, and anybody else watching. Angel Tavares is not a person that I met in real life, but I can 100% sit here and say that he was a positive influence on people that he met. He was a genuine person. He was the same person on stream as he was in the DMs. Just a genuine dude. And I hate that we got that news. I hate that he wasn't in a place where he understood how incredible he was. So some of you are watching this and maybe you're going through something right now. I can tell you with 100% certainty, there are people in your life that you might not realize that you are bringing joy to, that you are positively impacting. And Angel is one of those people. He probably didn't realize what a massive impact he had on us. He would call into the show, he would interact, and he would leave. And in his mind, that was the end of the exchange. But the reality is, you call into the show with those vibes. That sticks with you. It would genuinely make the rest of the night better. It would make the next day better. Positivity breeds positivity. And Angel Tavares is one of the most positive people I've ever interacted with in this space. So this sucks. This genuinely sucks. If you're going through something, I promise you, there are people's lives that you are making better by being here, by interacting with them, and just by being you. Everybody else, check on your boys, man. Check on your boys. So I'm going to continue with this breakdown in another very awkward transition because there is no smooth way in and out of this, but I didn't want to ignore it. I wanted to honor our boy who's been nothing but wildly supportive, who has positively impacted my life on a personal level. So let's give some thoughts to Angel and his friends. These are his friends. And it sucks. Big loss to the community. Angel, take 2.
Angel.
I see the peace sign. We can see you. Can we hear you? There we go.
What's up, guys?
How you doing?
Yo, that beard is fucking beautiful.
Hey, man, thank you.
It's fucking beautiful, man.
I want to say thank you. I've been a member for like 2 weeks now, but before that, me and some friends, we having some follow-ups on you guys, and you fucking guys rock. I mean, for real.
Oh, thank you.
I appreciate that.
Jacob, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás, hermano?
¿Cómo está? Muy bien, ¿y tú?
Muy bien.
I don't know if you know, but I did that 23andMe. We're going to get the results back in about 3 or 4 weeks, and you're going to find out that it's got to be at least 50% Latino. It's got to be, at least.
Man, I'm Dominican, and I can tell you, you definitely have at least 35%.
That's what I'm saying. People keep doubting me. I'm telling you, people are going to be surprised when the results are red. They're going to be surprised.
Who is Minty? I mean, come on, guys.
What do you mean? You don't know who Minty is?
No, but she's fucking hot.
She's on every UFC broadcast giving out her bets.
Yeah, she's Minty Bets. She's on the
Oh,
UFC.
that's Minty Bets?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's Minty Bets.
Ooh. Hi, Minty. Hi, Minty.
Like it's such a common name.
Sour Shell says, nice
so
beard.
good.
You got a girl in the chat that's complimenting your beard right now, Angel.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Angelo gets excited. I'm telling you. Angelo
Oh,
gets
really?
excited.
Whoa, dude.
Reach
have
out.
you-
Reach out.
Hi,
Love
Sola.
connection. I'd love to see it happen.
So, Jarcinho, I'm about to ask you the most difficult question you've been asked in your whole life. Pomtager or Saoto soup?
Oh, pomta or soda soup. Bold. Come on. It's hard.
It really was a
told
tough
you.
question.
Yeah.
Wait, before you answer the question, can we get some context? I have no idea what he just
What are
asked.
you talking about? That's Suriname food. But dude, that's a difficult. Both. I'll do both. I say why? Because it's the best you ever had. Like, and you're growing up with it, and everybody makes it different.
Oh, that's so nice. Well, Biggie boy, best of luck. I'll be watching. I'll be rooting for you. And God bless, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You have a
Thanks,
wonderful night.
Angel.
Appreciate you, Angelo.
Always with the good questions.
We love Angelo.
Thank
We
you
love
so
Angelo.
much. Yeah, he's
That was
a
fun. That
regular.
was fun. That was good.
If you come to DR, man, they'll be like, gringo. I'll get you like 10 or 12 girlfriends within the hour. I swear to God.
They don't mind.
That's a mic. That's the microphone. That's Angelo. Clear as day.
Well, listen.
Well, Oumar, guys.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
Ok, take care. And Jacob, dile a Minty que un beso.
See.
All right, guys, take care. Much love.
See ya. In what might be the most awkward transition I have ever or will ever have to do, we're going to go ahead and break down this fight card. UFC Paris now has 14 fights. They added a fight last minute, and we have the official bout order. We are going to open up UFC Paris with my most confident pick on this entire card. We got Sam Hughes taking on Shauna Bannon. If you guys have heard me break down Shauna Bannon before, you understand my disdain for her. And while I know less than 2 minutes ago I was talking about positivity and I'm getting a little negative here, the reality is Shauna Bannon is tough, and I'm sure she's a good human being. So we're just talking about her in-cage skills. In the cage, she hops on one foot and marches forward like she's the Karate Kid doing the crane. In the cage, she's got pretty low fight IQ and is kind of unbearable. She's got that weirdo fight style. Now, what I will say is she's incredibly tough. She's not going to quit. She's going to keep moving forward. But she's got that traditional martial arts style. And for her, for some reason, that traditional martial arts style isn't like a Wonder Boy or an MVP. It is a stand on one foot and hop forward while throwing weird kicks. Shauna Bannon is coming off of that win over Pooja Tamar, where she was dropped, but because she's tough, she didn't go anywhere. Pooja followed her to the ground. Pooja then said, "Please take my arm." And so Shauna did. And she's taking on Sam Hughes. Spoiler alert, Sam Hughes is my most confident pick on this card, period, end of story. She's not amazing at anything. Nobody's ever going to look at Sam Hughes and be like, unbelievable striker, unbelievable grappler. But you will look at her and say, an absolute nonstop grinder. She's got Merab-style cardio, insane pressure. She will never stop. She will never slow down. She's good enough to not get submitted. She's tough enough to continue moving forward. And that's what we're going to get here. We're going to get Sam Hughes sticking with the basics, unbelievable cardio, and she's just going to grind down Shauna Bannon. She's going to get the takedowns. She's going to get the forward pressure. She's going to stay in her face. The one leg hop kick nonsense from Shauna's going to do nothing, and Sam Hughes is going to win this fight. When I broke this down a week ago, she was like minus 250. Now she's minus 320. I would not be surprised if come fight night, she's going to be minus 4, minus 5, minus 600, and people are going to be like, imagine betting on a woman at minus... No. I get what you're saying, but that whole stigma that you can't bet on women's MMA is bullshit, because when you get matchups like this, you bet on it. Sam Hughes is going to win this fight. The over 2.5 is gold. Sam Hughes is gold. My most confident pick on this entire card. Then we have Rinat Fakhretdinov taking on Andreas Gustafsson. This betting line has full-blown flipped. When I broke this down a week ago, Rinat was the favorite. He is now the underdog. And I knew that was going to happen. I sat here and I said, the general public is all over Andreas Gustafsson. I didn't see a single person saying Rinat was going to win this fight. Now there's a few. There's a few dabbling, dangling, commenting. I'm on Rinat's side, and because I forced you to do it. I said, you will not watch this video, insist that Andreas is going to win, and then Rinat wins, and then blow me up in the recap video being like, of course Rinat was going to win. No, I said, you lay it out now. You put in this video, you comment who you think wins this fight so that when you leave some negative bullshit comment on the recap video, I can tap your picture, see what you said. 99% of you said Andreas. A couple of you said Rinat Fakhretdinov. This is a very good matchup, and it is important for the division because we're going to find out if Andreas is actually good or if he's just tough, and we're going to find out if Rinat is just a wrestler or an actual MMA fighter. We got Rinat Fakhretdinov, as you know, a non-stop wrestler. He will throw bombs. He has some random sneaky power. He is willing to strike. He's constantly pressing forward, and he will shoot takedown after takedown after takedown. He's unrelenting. He never stops. He did get a gift decision in his last fight when he had 2 takedowns versus Carlos Leal, but the key point there is Carlos defended 17 takedowns. Rinat went 2 for 19 and snuck out a decision. Rinat is tough. We have seen him almost finished. He's kind of a chinny guy. We've seen him almost finished, but survive and then continue to wrestle. He's taking on Andreas Gustafsson. He himself is also a solid grappler. He's got some wrestling skills. Like most wrestlers, he's going to come forward. He's going to throw a ton of strikes. They're all really designed to back you up so he can get to your legs, hold you against the cage, do all of those things. He's a grinder. He himself has said, I'm just going to go full retard. And what he means by that is he's going to move forward, throw caution to the wind, get in people's face, grind. And that's how he fights. And this is an interesting matchup because Andreas is not the better wrestler. He's just not. If this was a wrestling match, it's Rinat all day, every day. In an MMA fight, it's still very close. I had a feeling the line would flip. I knew people were all over Andreas here. I bet on him as an underdog. I think I got him at plus 125. Maybe it's plus 115. But I knew he wasn't going to be an underdog for very long. And he no longer is. But my bet is very small because I do have some concerns here. I'm going to pick Andreas. I think he can come forward. I think he can stay in Rinat's face. Rinat is a nonstop grinding wrestler, but he doesn't get every takedown. I just told you he went 2 for 19 against Carlos Leal. So if Andreas can defend some few takedowns or shoot his own takedowns and not wait, then Andreas could have a ton of success here. Rinat is by far the more experienced fighter, the more accomplished fighter, the better fighter. He's more well-trained, all of those things. But there is something to be said about going full retard. And if Andreas Gustafsson gets in his face and grinds, he could have some success. We have seen Rinat in trouble. He almost got finished by Zaleski. He almost got finished by Dalby. He got the gift decision by Leal. And MMA Karma might be coming for him here. Andreas Gustafsson is the pick. A very small bet on him. I would not. Guys, this is a huge test for Gustafsson. Like, yes, he beat Chaos Williams. Chaos hits hard, but who the hell is Chaos? When have we seen Chaos defend 1 million takedowns before? So Andreas, we're going to find out how good he is or is not. Then we have Brad Tavares taking on Robert Bryczek. This has new odds. When I first broke this down, we didn't have odds. It was a newer addition to the fight card. And I'm surprised to see that Brad Tavares is almost a 3-1 favorite. I get it. He's a tried and true entity in this division. He's been around forever. But the reality is, he's getting up there in age. He's 37 in human years. He's 165 in fight years. He's still tough. He's got that Hawaiian fighting spirit. He's fought everybody. He is 16-10 in the UFC. That is 26 fights at the highest level in this sport. He has fought a litany of former title challengers and world champions. He's a good striker. He's got good takedown defense at 81%. He's never going to quit. He's going to stay in your face. He is slowing down. You can start to see that decline, but he can still beat all the mid-tier and lower-tier guys. So now we're going to find out where on that tier structure is Robert Bryczek. He did just lose to Ihor Potieria in what was kind of an embarrassing loss because he was supposed to win that fight. He is a trained boxer, though. He's got professional boxing. He takes those techniques into the cage. He's light on his feet. He plops forward. He'll just pump that jab over and over and over, and if he's not pumping it, he's feinting. He's pretending, and he's getting people questioning, and he'll get you to react, and then he'll dial it in. He's not a high-volume guy, but those feints, the jab, can all work well for him. He's got solid takedown defense, but he can be taken down if you're not biting on all of those feints. And this is a tough fight to break down. I am shocked to see that Brad Tavares is almost a 3-1 favorite because Tavares is well past his prime. Like, he is full-blown past his prime. Bryczek's a good striker. Tavares is a good striker. I'm going to go with Tavares here because MMA-wise, he's the better, more well-rounded MMA fighter. But we've seen him slept before. Bruno Silva did it. right before Bruno Silva was fully washed. Robert Bryczek's got some power. He's got clean striking. An decision win from Robert here where he had clean boxing wouldn't surprise me. One-punch knockout wouldn't surprise me. Brad Tavares grinding, just being the better MMA fighter wouldn't surprise me. I'm going to lean Tavares. I'm going to lean on his experience. I'm going to lean on his toughness. So we're going Tavares here, but I don't think I can bet him at these odds. I don't quite think Bryczek is like this bum fraud. I think he fought a very good striker in his UFC debut, and while Ihor is like not a great MMA fighter, he is a good striker. There's a trick. I don't want to see people bitching in the recap video if Brad loses that you had him in 38 parlays. Be careful. Then we have Jacob taking on Trey Waters. We have the crystal clear, no pigmentation whatsoever, Samuel Patterson taking on Trey Waters. And if that doesn't look like a Samuel, well, I mean, there's names. And you can picture certain faces with certain names, especially ethnic names. If I say Antonio, you're picturing someone that looks like me. If I say Marie, you're picturing some Irish chick. If I say Samuel, you got Casper the Ghost. This is the most Samuel-looking motherfucker I've ever seen in my entire life. We got Sam Patterson. He is long and ridiculous. He is 6'3" at 170 pounds. And while on his feet, he's got some of the worst striking you've seen with his chin way up in the air and his arms all extended, he uses that length really well on the ground. He'll wrap you up. He's got the long guy submissions, the long guy techniques. The takedown defense does need some work, but like I said, when he does get taken down, it doesn't matter because he's wrapping you up and he's immediately working for something. He is coming off that knockout win over Danny Barlow, which was somewhat surprising because even though his striking defense is not very good, we saw that in the last Mouse fight, he is so long that if he does connect, I mean, just, you can't see my whole arm here, but if I'm throwing a punch from here and my arm is 162 feet long and I'm going like this, by the time that connects, the centrifugal force, yes, I'm very smart. The centrifugal force is very impressive. He's taking on Trey Waters. I just went on and on and on about how tall Powder is, but Trey Waters is taller. He is 6'5", also at this weight class, a full-blown monster because unlike Samuel, he's thick. He's built out like a real man. Outside of fight camp, Trey Waters is probably a monster. Inside, he's obviously got to slim down to make the 170 weight, but the reality is he does not have that lanky build. He's a long striker. He'll pump a jab. He will keep range. He does get a little cocky. He'll keep his hands low, which is not great, but he'll get after it. He is fast. He's dangerous. He's a problem for a lot of people, and he has no problem with a dogfight. We saw that about a year ago when he beat Billy Ray Goff in a back-and-forth war. I'm not a big Samuel Patterson fan. I just don't love how the chin is just way up in the air, begging to get cracked. I don't think he's that good of a striker. Obviously, the jiu-jitsu is really slick because of how long he is, and he's certainly tough. I'm going to pick Trey Waters here. I think Trey is tougher. I think he's faster. I think he hits harder. He certainly is not better at jiu-jitsu than Sam Patterson is, but I don't think it's going to matter. And I think Sam Patterson is going to struggle with somebody longer and taller. How many times have we seen these ridiculously long people and then they fight somebody with their similar build and they're clueless because they're just used to being so long. And then when they fight somebody who's as long, they struggle a little bit. So I'm going Trey Waters. My one and only concern is he has been out for a year and this is a big dude. So not making this weight for an entire year might be problematic. This line is tightening. When I broke him down before, Trey was a big underdog. This was a wide line, and now it is getting closer and closer and closer. I was hoping the line would stay where it was so that we can catch the weigh-ins and then make a decision. If he makes weight and he looks good, I'm all in. I will be placing a bet on Trey Waters. But if he shows up like all sucked out, looking miserable, then we're probably going to leave it alone. That is the tricky part about making picks before you get to see everything. I'm going to pick Trey Waters. I'm on that side. Let's see what we get with a round line. Let's see what we get with weigh-ins. I don't think he's going to flip to a full-blown favorite, but these odds are tightening, and they're tightening quickly. And then we have the newest addition to this fight card. They just added this fight. We got Rhys McKee taking on Axel Sola. It might be Sola Axel. I have no idea why that name is flip-flopped in certain places, but we have a new addition to the fight card. And this is an interesting fight to break down because Rhys McKee did just get his first UFC win, but we still don't quite know if he's any good or not. Rhys McKee's a long striker. He's got accuracy. He's got speed. He's got some power. He does a good job piecing people up at range on the outside. Then he'll rush in and find his openings. He's typically trying to avoid grappling, but we have, as of late, seen more cage control. We've seen more distance closing and trying to slow his opponents down. He is coming off of his first UFC win after a stretch of 4 losses over 5 years. He's taken on Axel Sola, UFC newcomer. He's stepping up on short notice. They just announced his fight the other day, so let's say a week's notice. He's a young French prospect. He's getting his first crack at the big show. He's a solid boxer. He's got a clean jab. He got an interesting stance because his hands are pretty low, but he throws incredibly hard, and he does a really good job pumping a jab, mixing in heavy leg kicks. His takedown defense is just okay. But if it does fail him, he's got good enough submission defense, and he can stay safe to work back up. He has evolved his game. He's got good offensive takedowns as well. He's turning into a bit of a ground and pound guy. He is fast, plenty of explosive actions. He is also a 155-pounder. He is a lightweight who is stepping up on short notice, and this fight is at welterweight. I will say he does have some experience at welterweight. He's a pretty big dude. He's not small. And this is a great fight to know if Rhys McKee is actually good or if he just finally got a win. I told you, he started his UFC career at 0-4, but all 4 of those losses are very credible. A couple of them were close. Rhys is long, he's rangy. Axel is fast and powerful. I have no idea how good Axel is or is not because we haven't seen him fight anybody any good. I have seen Rhys McKee fight good people. Whether he won or lost, I saw it. He was in there with good fighters. So I'm going to lean Rhys as an underdog here. This is another one where the odds are tightening up a little bit. I would not be surprised if Rhys full-blown flipped to a favorite. We're just going to find out because Axel could come in here, and if Axel's just going to try to be fast and explosive early, Rhys is pretty tough and durable, and stepping up on short notice, he might slow down. First of all, does he not look exactly like a Jonas brother? He looks like the Jonas brother that was in that MMA show. Was it Warrior? I forget the name of that show. That was a good show. He looks like that Jonas brother. So congrats to him. He speaks French and he looks like a Jonas brother. Jesus, dude, this dick is worn out. Damn. You know what? I'm not flipping the pick. He is stepping up on short notice. It's a giant debut at home in the octagon. Like, there's a lot of factors there. And while Rhys McKee is by no means a very good fighter, he's been in there. He will not have octagon jitters. He's long. He's lean. He's made that walk before. I'm going to lean Rhys McKee here. And we'll see how good the Jonas brother is and what he does. Then we have Marcin Tybura taking on Ante Delija. We have another full-blown line flip. Last time I broke this down, Marcin Tybura was the favorite. Ante Delija is now the favorite. This is a rematch from 175 years ago, so I don't care what happened in the first fight. Anytime I break down a fight that is a rematch, I get a million, how dare you not mention that this was a rematch? Who gives a fuck? To focus on a rematch from 7 years ago implies that neither fighter has changed at all. Are you the same person you were 7 years ago? These are not the same fighters that they were 7 years ago. So I don't care what happened in the first one. Marcin won. It doesn't matter to me. What I do care about is what will happen in this fight. I mentioned the line full-blown flipped. We got Marcin Tybura. He's a grinder. He is a heavyweight. He's a big dude, but he's not that heavyweight one-punch knockout kind of guy. He'll throw a million strikes. He's got punches in bunches. He will move forward, and he will try to grind you to the cage and then to the ground. He's looking for takedowns on top. He's got good pressure. He can keep you there. He will rain down some strikes. He will control. He is very tough. He never quits. Marcin Tybura is a good fighter who gets good wins. He's coming off the decision win over Mick Parkin. He only attempted 2 takedowns in that fight, which surprised most people because the consensus was he's going to grind. He's going to look to wrestle, and he didn't really need to. We did, however, find out in that fight that he sucks off of his back. That might be a problem here because Ante Delija does have some takedowns. He is a PFL standout. He has broken away from the PFL. He's making his UFC debut here. He's a pretty fun heavyweight. He throws bombs. He does shoot takedowns. He's very big at 6'5". He's got good control. He's a very good fighter. And if he wasn't 35 years old, he would be an awesome addition to this roster. I don't quite think he's going to make this giant splash where we can just rush him to a title shot. So I think he's just kind of here, and we'll see what happens. The UFC doesn't really have any star power in the heavyweight division, so they're actively looking to add exciting heavyweights. And Ante Delija, I would call exciting. He's a fun guy. But again, he's old. He's got 6 losses. Like, he's not this wild prospect. And I'm going to break this down with your feedback because you people, the community, have made it abundantly clear that any fighter from outside of the UFC is absolute dog shit bad. You guys say that. You said Aaron Pico sucks. Pitbull sucks. You said Patchy Mix sucks. A lot of you said Kayla Harrison sucked when she first. You guys love saying anybody from another organization is dog shit, terrible, and they're not going to win. Ante Delija is from another organization. So by your logic, dog shit, terrible, not going to win. This is another one of those plant your flag moments. Let me know who you think wins this fight, so that when inevitably people want to bitch in the recap video, YouTube rolled out a new little feature for me, for the channel owners, that I can just tap your profile picture and I can see every comment you've ever left. So it's very easy for me to see how wrong you are. And I actually had an interaction like that a couple weeks ago. And it was great. It was absolutely fantastic. Somebody, not last week, what couple weeks ago, somebody commented, imagine picking whatever. I forget what pick I got wrong. I tapped his profile. His previous comment was on the Marab O'Malley 2 fight card, and he said, O'Malley by KO. You're an idiot. Who's the idiot now? User 2967X. In all seriousness, though, Ante Delija is a very good fighter. I picked Marcin Tybura before. I'm going to stick with that pick, but it's a reluctant pick. The only reason I'm sticking with it is because Marcin can grind. He is tough. Remember when Alexander Romanov beat his ass and then Marcin was still there, didn't quit, made something happen for himself? Remember a few fights ago where Jonathan Diniz was beating his ass and he didn't quit. He stayed there. He made something happen for himself. That general toughness, the cagemanship, the experience, for all of those reasons, I'm going to pick Marcin Tybura. If Ante Delija was 28, this actually would be a different breakdown, but he's 35. He's not young by any means. This is a good fight. This is a fun fight. I do think whoever wins, it's going to be pretty clear, meaning Ante might run through Marcin, or Marcin will get the takedowns, beat the piss out of him, and kind of remind people that outside the UFC fighters suck. Speaking of fighters who suck, we have Oumar Sy taking on Brendson Ribeiro, and I do have a chip on my shoulder. I'm still carrying a grudge from when Oumar Sy lost to a 40-year-old. But we got to put that aside because he's going to win this fight. So we got to put that grudge aside. And I'm pretty sure, I would have to go back and check, but I'm pretty sure I sat here, said perma-fade, you can't touch the French. They're the war. You can't trust them. They surrender. I think I went on a whole Revolutionary War tirade on the French. They're not fighters. He's just a pretty boy. He's closer to a Jabberwocky than he is a UFC champion. The reality is, Oumar Sy is actually good. He's a beast. He's a beast. He's 6'4". He's athletic. He's fast. When he decides to throw punches, which you never know, they're fast and they're hard. If he decides to wrestle, he's got big-ass takedowns. He picks people up. He slams them down. Oumar Sy is an athlete who has learned how to fight. Is he a fighter? I'm going to stick with no. He's not a fighter. Marcin Tybura, who we just broke down, that dude's a fighter. We've seen him halfway to death. And then he just comes back. He doesn't quit on himself. He keeps going. Oumar Sy, that's not him. The guy's down in a fight against a 49-year-old, made no adjustments whatsoever, did nothing to try to win that fight, just was perfectly happy losing the decision and be like, oh, shucks. So while I hate that, he should win this fight because he's taking on Brendson Ribeiro. Brendson Ribeiro is a dangerous offensive striker. He'll get after it. He will get after it. He lands big. He's got some power. He gets in your face. But then you can hit him. And he does have a quit button. You can hit him. You can back him up. You can take him down. He's going to be dangerous, and he's going to be dangerous early. And as long as you can weather that storm, for the love of Christ, Oumar Sy, you can win this fight. He is dangerous. On his feet, on top, off his bottom, he'll throw up random submissions. And while Brendson is well-rounded, you can finish him. You can find that quit button. I think Oumar Sy is going to come in here. I think he'll exchange for a few seconds. He'll get hit a few times and say, I got to win. I got to win. Losing that last fight was a problem. I'm at home. I have to win. I think Oumar Sy wins here. I'm pretty confident that he wins here. I think it's going to be boring. I think he's going to wrestle his ass off, but I do think he wins. And you know what? We'll take it. He's minus 410. He was minus 700 when he lost to a 40-year-old. He's minus 410. He should beat a 29-year-old. Oumar Sy is going to be the pick, and if he loses, you need to cut him. You need to ban his entire bloodline from ever attending a UFC event, let alone competing in one, and we need to be done with the experiment that is the French. But he should win. Then we have William Gomis taking on Robert Ruchala. We have 4 UFC debuts on this card, and all 4 of those UFC debuts are favorites. And I might have gotten that stat wrong, but if I didn't, I'm very close. We got Robert Ruchala, not a favorite. I immediately got that stat wrong. Robert Ruchala, though, is the KSW world champion. For whatever the hell that's worth. He's a fun, athletic guy. He's got good striking. He'll jump. He'll spin. He'll kick. He'll attack from all angles. He is well-rounded. He's got fantastic pressure, a wide variety of attacks, but he can be hittable. But he's durable. And when he shoots takedowns, he does a great job just running right through them. He strikes with intent. He's a fun guy to watch. He is willing to take risks. And I actually think this fight's a lot closer than these odds. And these odds continue to widen. This was a little closer a week ago, and now they're starting to widen big time. And I can understand the love for William Gomis. I'm about to pick William Gomis. He's a well-rounded guy. He can also strike. He can also grapple. He can outwork people. We don't always get the aggressive version of him, but sometimes we do. And when we do, it's impressive because he does a really good job pressuring forward while avoiding damage. He does a good job staying clean. He does a good job being smooth. William Gomis is a good, well-rounded fighter. The biggest issue with him and a lot of these other French savate-style fighters is they don't always fully engage and they want to be too clean on their entries and their exits, so you end up in a point-fighting match. We have seen William Gomis with the low-volume point fighting. We've also seen him with aggression. I think he can win this fight either way because if he comes forward aggressive, Robert is way hittable. If he wants to do the point fighting while Robert's spinning and trying to do these big actions, William can stay on the outside. We've seen William get a gift decision in France in the past. So even if we end up with a close fight, he should probably get the gift decision here. So I do think William Gomis wins. I think the odds should not be widening because Robert doesn't suck at all. But I think William wins, so we're going to pick him. I mean, I think you get a couple of points left on this line before it's just unbettable. Then we have the main card opener. We have Patricio Pitbull taking on Losine Kiata. And this is an interesting fight because this line has full-blown flipped. Patricio Pitbull was a 250 favorite, a minus 250 favorite. That's almost a 3-1 favorite. And it is full flipped. He is now almost a 2-1 underdog. And all that's happening here is people are looking at it. They're saying, oh my God, this dude is fast. He hits hard. He is dangerous. And Patricio Pitbull is 38. That's what people are doing. That's it. And because they're doing that, they're looking at it, they're betting the shit out of that guy. And you know what? I don't fully disagree. What I will say, let's talk about Patricio. You've only seen him in the UFC twice, right? He lost his debut against Yair Rodriguez, and then he just beat Dan Ige. The Dan Ige win wasn't impressive. He had 5 takedowns. He was grinding. But Dan Ige's tough. He hits hard. He's a well-rounded guy, and Patricio just needed that first UFC win. Patricio Pitbull is an all-timer outside of the UFC. He held belts at multiple weight classes. He had like a 16-fight stretch where every single fight was to defend his title or fight for a new one. Patricio Pitbull can hit. He can grapple. He has cardio. He can grind. He is tough. And saying he can hit's a weird... I was going to say he hits hard, but I threw the word can in there, and I just talked myself into a corner. But Patricio Pitbull's got some power. He's got some grappling. He's got aggression. He is old. 38 at featherweight is like 65 at middleweight. And the speed might be the biggest problem here because He's taking on Lacine Caeta. This guy is an absolute destroyer on the feet. He's fast. He's powerful. He's creative. He has great offensive striking. He's got good counter striking as well. The sprawls are fast. If you shoot a normal double up the middle, his hips hit that mat before you have fully made your entry. Everything he does is with intent. There's not a ton of footage of his takedown defense, and that is a problem. We've seen the sprawls. They're quick as shit. And he does a really good job worrying about the takedown, sprawling, stuffing the head, instead of just like trying to strike in those exchanges. That does nothing, and all you're doing is giving your opponent time to close the hips. He fights like someone we should probably fade later in a fight, but he doesn't. Seemingly has great cardio. He's got break pressure. He's dangerous as shit. So I understand the love for him. I'm going to pick him here too, but this is 2025. And how many highly touted, undefeated, or almost undefeated prospects have we seen just get smoked by old vets? We have seen that so many freaking... I just broke down Oumar Sy, who lost to a vet that doesn't have 1/100th of the accomplishments that Patricio Pitbull has. I'm going to pick Caeta here. And if you just go by a list of picks and how many so many got right and this guy got wrong, then shame on you. Because on the list, it'll say Angelo picked Caeta. Doesn't matter, because I'm sitting here saying I would not bet on this guy. You don't need to bet on. We have 14 fights on this card. You don't need to bet on him. This is a risky fight, a UFC debut against an old grizzled vet. Leave it alone. And if he beats the fuck out of Pitbull, now we know. But there will be nothing more frustrating than if you put this... I keep saying undefeated. He's not undefeated. But if you take this prospect, you throw him in 9 parlays, and then the wiry vet sneaks out a win, then you're like, why'd I do that? Oh, you said... No, don't do it. Don't do it. Picks and bets are not the same thing. You don't need to bet every fight. I would not bet on this fight. I'm going to pick him because I do think the speed is going to be a problem for Patricio to get the takedowns, which is his only path to victory here. He's going to get past the speed. He's got to get past the power. So he's basically going to have to rush in, hope he doesn't eat a big one, get Caeta to the cage, and then grind. That's a dangerous game to play. But again, it's 2025. How many of these prospects do you need to see lose before you learn your fucking lesson? You don't learn. Then we have Fakhretdinov taking on Caio Fernandes. Fakhretdinov, you guys love him. I get it. You guys love him. And you love him so much, you're making this line go crazy. Guys, I'm going to bet the fuck out of Caio Fernandes. And I'm not Jacob. So for me, that means I'm going to do a plus 3.5. That'll be like plus 110. Okay. So it is what it is. But I think it's a little crazy that Fakhretdinov was a 2-1 favorite, now a 3-1 favorite. And if he ends up a 4 to 5-1 favorite, what world are we living in? And I get Fakhretdinov is good. I get it. He's a long, rangy striker. He works well in the clinch. He manages range with solid leg kicks. When he decides to close the distance, he works to that clinch. He'll throw elbows. He's a technical fighter who tries to avoid risks. He picks his shots well. He only engages when he sees an opportunity. He takes his time. He looks to point his way to a victory. He is coming off that, on paper, impressive win over Mike Davis, but we can't forget that Mike Davis was scooting around on the floor, wiping his ass on the mat like a child. A guard-pulling child. He's taking on Caio Fernandes, a loose, powerful striker. He bounces on the toes. He stays on the outside of the pocket. Then he'll lunge in with speed and power. And like a lot of fighters at his gym, Nova Now, he's got slick BJJ, solid takedown defense. He does get flashy with the striking, but he is comfortable and he is focused. He is lasered in. He can be technical as well. He's coming off that dominant win over Garam Kutalaledze, where he had in the grappling exchanges, he won the striking exchanges, and he just straight up dominated that fight. They so badly they cut Garam. Here's the thing. I'm going to pick Caio Fernandes here. I think he wins this fight. I'm also going to say, if you look at Fakhretdinov wins, they're not as great as people keep making them out to be. And there's a textbook reply. I've been seeing it in the comments for a week. Caio lost to Mark Diakiese. Mark Diakiese sucks. LOLs. Okay, great. Well, Fakhretdinov has 4 losses as well. And to just focus on a loss from 3 years ago implies that nobody gets better. Nobody gets better. Nobody gets better. And that's just such insane logic to me. If he just lost in his last fight to Mark DeCasey, or if he lost to Mark DeCasey, then we saw zero improvements, okay, let's talk about the Mark DeCasey loss. But that's not what happened. Since then, he's got good wins as a dog. I think Caio Fernandes can win this fight. Look what he just did to Garam. He won the grappling exchanges. He won the striking exchanges. He was never flustered. He was never frustrated. He had cardio. He had pressure. Faraz Ziam is a good fighter. But if you run through his fight history, who's his great win? Who's his great? Matt Frivola? Great win. Mike Davis, who was pulling guard, and he still almost had his knee broken in half. And I'm not trying to shit on Faraz here, but he has that point fighting Savat style. I think Caio's aggression, I think Caio's grappling, and I think Caio is just too good at too many things. So I'm going to pick him to win, but I'm conservative Ange. Hey, conservative Ange. Slow and steady wins the race. The reason I've been doing so well is because I'm conservative Ange. So yeah, I'm going to do a plus 3.5 when that's available. And the odds are not going to be his money line is plus 270. The plus 3.5 is going to be nowhere near that. But all I need for that bet to hit is him to win one round. So let's say he does lose 2 rounds where Faraz is hanging on the outside, pot-shotting his way. But Caio gets after it in 1 round, has some success in 1 round, then I'll get paid. So when that bet drops, I will go ahead and place it. Then we have Modestas Bukauskas taking on Paul Craig. I saw Modestas Bukauskas hype video on Instagram. It was his Instagram, and it was a pretty cool hype video. It showed him losing in the UFC. It showed his knee getting absolutely blown out from Khalil Roundtree. And then the UFC cut him. And then he went back to the basics. It was like an Ivan Drago versus Rocky style workout. And he's just like grinding in the woods. And I say Ivan Drago versus Rocky because if you've seen Rocky 4, the highlight is Ivan Drago in this like high-tech gym using all this machinery. And then Rocky just like lifting logs in a mountain. Modesta's highlight was both of those things. Like high-tech shit, and he's just like lifting logs. And then he made his way back, finished a couple of people, won a decision. Now here he is on a nice little win streak. 3-fight win streak. Back in the UFC. As a tremendous favorite against Paul Craig. So that gassed me up. I already thought he was going to win. Now I really think he's going to win. Modestas Bukauskas is a versatile striker. He's dangerous on the feet. He is a little low volume at times because he's technical. He's kind of waiting. He does have a negative striking differential because he's technical. He's kind of waiting. But he has all the tools. A 77% takedown defense, very real power, clean technique. He will punch, he will kick, he'll work in range, he'll work out of range. He's coming off that close decision over Jan Kutalaba where he defended 4 takedowns, and that takedown defense will be needed here because he's taking on Paul Craig. Paul Craig is a bit of a jiu-jitsu nerd, a dangerous grappler. He has proven to be incredibly tough. He's never out of a fight. He has more than 1 win where his face was just smashed to smithereens, and then he pulled it out because his opponent was dumb as hell and decided to go on the ground with him. His striking is just okay. There is some random sneaky power in there. His biggest issue, though, is that his takedowns are not good. So to not be great on your feet and to be great on the ground but have no ability to get it to the ground whenever you want is kind of problematic. I trust Modestas' takedown defense. We saw it in his last fight. I believe in it here. Modestas is going to be the pick. I think he kind of runs through Paul Craig, to be honest with you. There's probably a couple of dicey exchanges, but I think Modestas is just too clean, too powerful. I think he chops down the legs. Once the legs are gone, then the half-ass takedown attempts are definitely gone. So Modestas is going to be the pick. 3-1 favorite. You know, before that hype video, I would have said these odds are a little wide, but after that hype video, it's like he is good. He is good. The power of editing, man. Modestas is good, and he should win this fight. Then we have a very exciting featured fight. We got Borralho taking on Mason Jones. This is a fun fight. And this line is tightening. It was a little wider a week ago. Now it's just inching closer and closer together. And I think that should be the case. I understand Mason Jones is good and he's well-rounded, but like, what the hell has Mason Jones done? He just beat an old Jeremy Stevens in a war. But Mason Jones is an overall well-rounded and good fighter. He's an aggressive striker. He's got good boxing. He's got very good takedowns, fantastic takedown defense at 80%. So if things aren't going well on the feet, he can shoot a takedown. If things are going well on the feet and his opponent shoots a takedown, he can defend it. He did just get 8 takedowns against Jeremy Stevens, which proves that if things get dicey, he will make adjustments inside the fight. And things might get dicey because he's taking on Borralho. a busy striker. He's got a good jab, lots of power. He likes to pump that jab. He likes to set things up. He explodes into combinations. When he finds his openings, he gets after it. He's got good takedown defense on his side as well with a fast sprawl. Solid offensive takedowns as well. Borralho and Mason Jones are very similar fighters. The only real gap here is I don't think Borralho's defense is as good as Mason's. And if you stick with a busy jab and you keep it in Borralho's face, it does frustrate him. He does not fight nearly as well backing up as he does moving forward. And I think Mason can do exactly that. I also think Mason's offensive takedowns are a little better than Borralho. So I'm going to slight lean Mason Jones here, but this is a competitive fight. This is a fun fight. This is a great featured fight on this card. Mason Jones is going to be the pick because I think he's just slightly better with the wrestling, and the offensive striking is probably going to get Borralho a little frustrated. Then we have an intriguing co-main event of the evening. We have Benoit Saint-Denis taking on Mauricio Ruffy. And anytime you get an intriguing fight like this, a fan favorite in Benoit, a surging prospect in Mauricio, you get some wild comments. And there are people spamming that Benoit runs through Mauricio. Benoit destroys Mauricio. Listen, guy, you can be a Benoit Saint-Denis fan, but what have we seen from him that would indicate he's destroying anybody? Have you looked at his losses? That guy got broke in his losses. He got beat 3/4 to death against Valesky. He got beat so bad in his UFC debut that they fired the referee. They fired the referee on the spot because he let Benoit take the beating of a lifetime. Then Dustin Poirier, he has early success, and you're going to blame this on a staph infection. He had early success, and then Dustin knocks his ass out. And then he gets mauled by Renato Moicano. And I'm not doing this to dog Benoit. I'm just doing this to paint the picture that Benoit isn't exactly the steamroller that a lot of people are pretending he is right now. He is tough. He's a former, special forces, the youngest French special forces, something or whatever. So he's in real life a man, and in the octagon he's a man. He is not a quitter by any means. But he's got that Sling Blade mouth, and if you don't know who Sling Blade is, I don't usually encourage people pausing the video. Pause the video, Google Sling Blade, look at that, and then come back here, look at Benoit, and tell me this isn't fucking French Sling Blade. You got to be my age to know that movie, but I'm telling you. Anyway, he's a grinder. He's tough as shit. He's all man. He's got 9 fights in the UFC. He's got 21 takedowns in those 9 fights, and that is impressive considering he has only ever seen a third round once. When he gets to the ground, he's got good pressure. He works for submissions. He's got a ton of power on the feet. It makes him dangerous. He's got no quit whatsoever. But technically speaking, he's not the most technical fighter on the roster. Skill for skill, I don't know where he's better than Mauricio Ruffy. Certainly, he's tough. He's durable. Maybe his offensive takedowns. We haven't really seen enough out of Ruffy. So let's say his offensive takedowns are better. But his striking's not. And Mauricio's takedown defense is probably good enough. Mauricio is a nasty striker. He's got 12 wins with 11 stoppages. He isn't just a boxer either. He's not just a striker. He's got incredible kicks. We just saw a spinning heel kick just knock the head off of Bobby Green. He hit Bobby so hard he had to change his name. I actually think he was King Green at that point in time. But you get the joke. It's a solid joke, especially if the timing is correct. Mauricio Ruffy is a very dynamic striker who so far has good takedown defense. The only way Benoit Saint-Denis wins this is if he gets the takedowns and Mauricio is exposed as a fraud with no takedown defense. I don't think that's going to happen. And while I am a Fighting Nerds hater, I have sat in this chair over and over and over, said a gym doesn't make the fighter. Just because somebody's at Fighting Nerds doesn't mean they're unbelievable. But even with all of that just rhetoric around the gym doesn't make the fighter, I can say Mauricio Ruffy has very good training partners, many of whom are very good grapplers, so I expect he is getting good looks, and the gym is perfect for him. Mauricio Ruffy should run through Benoit Saint-Denis. Is he going to finish him? He might not. But he's definitely going to style on him. He's going to land clean. He's going to land big, and it's going to be impressive. Now, obviously, I can't just single out Fighting Nerds fighters and be like, look. But look what Carlos Prates has been doing on the feet. Look what Jean Silva's been doing on the feet. Mauricio Ruffy is the one that they all say is the most talented one in the gym. So this has to be Ruffy. 2-1 favorite. This line is tightening. So I'm probably going to parlay and bet on Ruffy here, but I'm just going to wait. The line is tightening. So let's wait. Let's see what this looks like in a day, in 2 days. If it starts to back out, then you strike. But for now, I'm going to wait. 2-1 favorite. Maybe we get him down to 1.5 to 1. I think this is a very dominant win by Mauricio Ruffy. And I will say, the argument that people make in the comments are, who is Ruffy beaten? And I say, well, who's Benoit beaten? Oh, but he fought the better level of competition. You're not wrong. He has absolutely fought the better level of competition. But who has he beaten? He didn't beat Dustin. He didn't beat Renato. Like, who has he beaten? Like, getting your ass kicked by somebody very good doesn't say much. And you know what? If he lost to Renato first and then Dustin, I'd be a little more inclined to be like, hey, maybe it was a staph infection. Like, he looked real good in that first round. But he lost to Dustin and then Moicano. So it wasn't just, oh, he had a staph infection. Because the next time he fought somebody good, he got his ass kicked again. You people do this to me. I'm not a Benoit hater. He's very exciting. He's a great guy to have on. He's like a Drew Dober. He's a fun, exciting guy that's never really going to get close to a belt. So you need people like that on the roster. But you guys just gas him up so much in the comments section, and you jump down my throat when I pick against him, that I end up hating him through proxy. Because you annoyed me, I'm annoyed at him. You see how that works? Just a circle of annoyed. So now I'm rooting against the guy. Hey, congratulations to you. You did this. If you were like, oh, I love Benoit, he's a ton of fun, I hope he wins, I wouldn't have these feelings. But because you want to jump down my throat, now I got to root against him. You did that. Then we have the main event of the evening. We have another line flip, a full-blown line flip. Nasruddin Imavov was the favorite. He is now the underdog, and the money is coming in on Kyle Borralho. And I do understand that. I understand it. To me, this is a 50-50 fight. This is a razor-thin fight, and it can go one of two directions. We either get Kyle Borralho getting the takedowns, or Nasruddin Imavov being the better striker and grinding out a win. If you didn't know, and if you haven't heard somehow, Dana White said we have two different, very important middleweight main events coming up, and whoever wins that fight in more spectacular fashion will get the title shot. So we have this fight between Nasruddin Imavov and Kyle Borralho, and then we also have RDR taking on Anthony Hernandez. So whoever wins those two fights, those two people are in contention to get the title shot against Khamzat Chimaev. And the way Dana's going to pick who gets it is whoever won their fight in more exciting fashion. I'm going to tell you right now, it's probably going to be whoever wins RDR and Anthony Hernandez, because I don't think this is going to be an exciting fight. Neither one of them are wildly exciting. The only way this ends up being an exciting fight is if there's somehow a finish, and I just don't know if we're going to get that. We have Nasruddin Imavov, who is a good defensive wrestler, a very good striker. We haven't really seen a ton of power until recently when he uppercutted Israel Adesanya, but that's an old, former world champion, Israel Adesanya. He is comfortable everywhere. We've seen him grapple. We've seen him strike. He is very well trained, and he is dialed in laser focus on his training, and I'm pointing that out specifically because Kyle Borralho is a very good fighter as well. We're seeing the improvements in the striking. He outstruck Jared Cannonier, which he could have just wrestled, but he chose to do that. And I appreciate that he's forcing himself to evolve. We watched him out-grapple opponents as well. He's a big dude for this weight class. I met him in person. Go watch our UFC 303 vlog. And I'm a big dude. I'm 6'3", 260. I actually have a small head for my physical stature. Kyle Borralho has a cow's head. His head is the size of a cow. It is nuts how big his head is. And those giant heads usually mean you've got an unbelievable chin. So I don't imagine there's going to be a finish here. I think what we're going to get is Kyle exchanging on the feet, being on like a little bit behind in the striking. I think Nasruddin's the better striker. I think we all agree there, right? So Nasruddin's going to be the better striker. I think Nasruddin's got the better gas tank. And I think Nasruddin's got the better footwork. But Kyle's a grinder. And he's smart. So I imagine he'll get dotted up a little bit. Then he'll decide to wrestle. And if he wrestles, he may or may not have success. We saw Brendan Allen have early success against Imavov. That first round, Brendan Allen was taking him down and out wrestling him. And then Imavov made the adjustments, defended the takedowns, and just embarrassed Brendan Allen from that point forward. We might have something similar. This is a great matchup, and it matters for the division for all the reasons I mentioned earlier. I am going to lean Nasruddin Imavov here because I think he has more ways to win. I think he's the better striker. I don't think he's going to offensively wrestle, but I trust the takedown defense, certainly over 5 rounds. And if he does get taken down early, he's not going to get submitted. So I like Nasruddin Imavov here. I think he can get this win. But Caio Borralho is no bum. My real concern for Caio Borralho is he seems to be on a world tour. If you go watch any UFC fight night or pay-per-view over the last few months, Caio Borralho is just sitting there, chilling in the background, cheering people on, wearing absurd outfits. This guy's fashion is... And I'm buying, this is a friggin' true classic t-shirt. So I am by no means a fashionista. But wearing a cut off, like the guy who dresses like a wild man. But what he's not doing is grinding in the gym. And I'm sure he's getting workouts in wherever he's trapped, all that stuff. I'm not saying that he's not training. I am saying, though, I think he's a little distracted by it. Running a team, coaching fighters, traveling the world, where Nasruddin is just quietly grinding. Quietly, behind the scenes, working. And I think that difference over 25 minutes might matter here. Nasruddin Imavov is going to be the pick. Guys, that's the breakdown. I appreciate all of you being here. And that's a genuine statement. And if you feel like people don't appreciate you, they do. You don't know the impact you're having on other people. Thanks for being here. Good luck. Let's get back to our routine.